lot of talk about a potential recession that is upcoming. And in SCHD, obviously, when we take a look at 2020 as well as 2022, we kind of see how potentially this particular ETF could respond if there is a recession. And by the way, if you're new, remember to leave a like and also subscribe. Subscribing is the best way that I can continue making videos like this for you. And so here we go. So basically, SCHD is an ETF that really tracks a lot of these big time companies such as like Verizon and Broadcom, etc. And so when we talk about SCHD, we have to take a look at exactly what the trajectory is if there is a recession upcoming. Now, SCHD, when we talk about SCHD, we have to take a look at 2022, which might be the best indicator as to how this will respond if there is a potential recession. Now, backtracking just a little bit, in 2020, though, it fell off a cliff when the basically there was a huge sell-off. Obviously, pretty much the entire market sold off back in 2020. As you probably remembered, it was a black swan event. And then after 2020, then it did have a really nice rise up. Now, in 2022, though, a lot of people have said it was a technical recession. So 2022, there was a nice trend upwards when we take a look at September 23rd to December 2nd, 2022, and then it kind of consolidated, and then it sort of continued the trend upward as well all the way since then. So since right around March 6th of 2020, the ETF has been at risen 63.47%. Now that doesn't tell the whole story, obviously. You have to take a look at also the dividend too, because the dividend, when we talk about SCHD, we have to take a look at the dividend, of course, because we don't just obviously look at this, trend upward, because the SCHD is basically called Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. So dividend is in the name. Okay, so it's shortened obviously to that. So when we take a look at SCHD, we have to take a look at the dividend, like I said, which is really high. Okay, it's a really nice dividend. It's a lot nicer. It's a lot nicer dividend than a lot of ETFs that are on the market right now. And when we take a look at how it trends upward, then that also tells a big story too. And so how it will respond to the recession, you have to to a potential recession, then I would definitely take a look at 2022 and also take a look at 2020, because there are conflicting arguments of whether or not 2022 was a recession. They call it a technical recession. So if it's called a technical recession, then you tell me in the comments of whether or not that was a recession or not, what we had in 2022. So you can call it what you want, but technically speaking, fill in the blanks. And SCHD performed very well there. Now, in a black swan event, then it didn't perform well. 2020 was not a recession. It was a black swan event. And not only that, but if you take a look at, the trajectory or the growth in 2020, during that black swan event, then it was not terrible. If you obviously erase that from your memory, just that little time when it went down like crazy back in March, but after March, after April, at least in SCHD's case, then there's nothing to complain about. Now, for the broader market, that, is another story probably. And we can definitely take a look at that actually. For the broader market, actually, let's take a look at VOO, because that tells the whole story. That tracks the S&P 500 back in 2020, I believe, yeah. The broader market also, um, after, like, actually, we're not even April. It was around actually March of 2020. Right after that, then it started to significantly rise, after that Black Swan event, and then in 2021, all the way into 2022. Then you take a look at the S&P 500, NVOO, pretty much literally the same thing, uh, and that's where you're going to get your slide. Now, in SCHD's case, then it did not, perform the same as the S&P 500 in a good way, by the way, in a good way actually, because SCHD actually held its own in 2022 during this slide. So, I mean, that's essentially it. I mean, it's like you. I'm not going to say for sure. No one can say for sure. Like Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch. No one can say for sure of how these ETFs are going to perform, but we definitely have the data to say, like, okay, well, certain stocks in this portfolio are going to perform this, probably going to perform this way and that way, during a recession or a black swan event, like it was in 2022 and 2020. So obviously, past performance doesn't, equate to future gains, et cetera, blah blah blah. We get it, but I mean, at least we have data. At least we have data to tell us, okay, well, this is how it performed here. You know, Obviously, it's not going to be the exact same, but it gives us something. So at least that. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.